Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jinfu Chen, and a PhD student from Concordia University. Thanks for attending my presentation. Today, I will present our research about login characteristics in mobile apps. Login is very important in software system. Extensive prior study was conducted in characteristics of login practices in servers and desktop applications. However, few studies were conducted on login practices of mobile apps. So we want to study the login practices in mobile apps. We conduct our study on around 1,400 F-Droid apps. F-Droid is a software repository for free and open source Android apps. Many apps in F-Droid are actively maintained and are also published in Google Play Store. Since none of the prior studies on login characteristics are conducted on mobile apps, so we first want to study the characteristics of login practices in mobile apps. We measure the login practices with different kinds of metrics, including the source line of source code per log, and the log changes, and the code churn rate, and the log churn rate. We measure this kind of metrics since prior study also measure these metrics to understand the login characteristics in servers and desktop applications. Finally, we found that login practices are different in mobile apps than server and desktop application. In particular, we found that the login statements in mobile apps are much less pervasive and also less maintained than the server and desktop application. Also, we found that the login statements in mobile app is more often to be deleted than server and desktop application. So why there exists a large difference between mobile apps and server application? So we want to study the rationales of mobile login to understand such large difference. We conduct a five-house email interview with the developers. We first weekly monitor the F-Droid app. If we observe newly added login statements, an email will be sent out to the developers who recently add the login statements into the source code. In each email, we will ask the developer, why do you add the log statements in this situation? And finally, we send out in total of 189 emails and receive 63 emails during our study period. We follow an iterative approach to put all the responses into different kind of categories. And finally, we identify 6 login rationales from the developers' responses. We found that the majority of the mobile login are for debug purpose. Another interesting finding is that developers often choose inconsistent log levels to the rationales. And we found that around 23% of the login statements used in full warning error level for debugging purpose. Such may produce unnecessary log information, and also such inconsistent log levels and unnecessary log may cause performance overhead. Therefore, we want to understand how large of the performance impact. We select 8 apps to conduct our study based on the app development history and also the number of the login statements. We apply different tags to measure performance, including local unit tags, instrumented tags, and special tags. We run tags under different log loads and record the performance. We first measure performance with enabling all the login statements. Second, we measure performance with disabling all the login statements. Finally, we measure performance with enabling only the necessary log statements. We measure performance metrics, including response time, CPU usage, and the battery consumption to get more stable performance data. each task will be executed 30 times independently. Finally, we will apply statistical analysis to examine whether there exists statistical difference between the performance data. Finally, we found that there can be a statistically significant performance overhead when generating log in mobile apps. Here we present an example of performance measurements between enabling logs and disabling log. As you can see, the response time and the battery consumption with enabling logging is around 3 times of that without logging. So thanks for listening. I'm happy to take your questions for now.